Okay, good morning. Good morning, sir. Um, Today is talking about school policy effectively. Um, um, Reporter by Benji Del Dahil Manlangit. Um, every school has a student handbook. A handbook is a living, breathing tool that should be updated and changed every year. As school principal, it's essential that you keep your student handbook up to date. It is also important to realize that every school is different. They have different needs and their students have different issues. A policy that will work in one district may not be effective in another district. There are 10 essential policy that every student handbook should include. Okay, they have 10 examples called policy effective, which is this the real effective in our school especially, and not considered to um, we have a lot of school policy. There are a lot of school policy, but there is a one of the most effective um, to use an our teacher in our student. First is attendance policy. Attendance policy does matter. Missing a lot of class can create huge holes that could lead to academic failure. The average school year in the United States is 170 days. A student who miss an average of 10 days year beginning in pre-kindergarten through 20 12 12 grade will miss 140 days of school. That adds up almost an entire school year in the United States in 170 days. A student who missing the adds almost an entire school year that they have missed. Looking at in the prospective attendance becomes increasingly as important that without solid attendance policy is virtual impossible to deal with. Tardes are equally important because a student who comes in late time after time essentially playing catch up every day, they are late. Yes, that's one of the most effective policy in school example. The second one is bullying policy. Bullying policy is never in the history of education has been unimportant as it's today to have an effective bullying policy. Students across a globe are affected by bullying. Every single day, the number of bullying incidents only continue to increase each year. Yes, and I heard that about student dropping out of school, yes, or taking their leave because of bullying of all co-classmates or at campus. And the third one is cell phone policy. Cell phone are hot topic among school administrators. Over the last 10 years, they have increasingly caused more and more problems. With that said, they can also be a valuable educational tool in a catastrophic situation. They can save lives. It is it is essential that schools evaluate their cell phone policy and I think and figure out and will work best for their settings. Just using a phone, not classing hour because that I think that it's cheating in our inside the classroom and you must using a classroom when a teacher said that we using a use a cell phone if they have some research in Google and during class hour. But if the teacher keep your phone, it might be keep our phone. Um, it just cheating. And okay, and the fourth is dress code policy. Unless your school requires student to wear uniform, then dress code essential student continue to push the envelope when it comes to how they dress. There are so many distractions that student can use by how they dress. Yes, and that's important nowadays. Many people say that we always that's important to our student to wear a uniform, especially in Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, because the Legacy College of Compostela and Wednesday are what it's called. This is um, using use wear how they dress what you want as long you can comfortable, but not for use not for tattered, not for sexy skirt, as long you can professional look during inside the campus. Okay, and the fifth is fighting policy. There's is no denying that every student will get along with every other student. Conflict, those happen, um, those happen, but it should never get physical. Too many negative things can occur when students engage a physical fight. Okay, fighting policy is important to our campus. Is to It's important to our campus to stop to not doing that, because every student um, has our aspect or ourself to how can I handle situation. It might be too quiet and to not be sabotaged and all the student, and just going on as long as you can go to school and to aim your ambition in your life. That's it. The sixth is respect policy. I am a firm believer that when students respect teacher and teacher respect student, that can only benefit learning. Yes, it's student today as whole are not as respectful adult as when they used to be. They simply are not taught to be respectful at home. Okay, respect policy is important as a human person. It's considered as one of the human rights. You must respect and what you have right now and who you are, as long we'll live in a better place and to live in, because we can see situations nowadays. Many people are full of sabotage, and especially to our co-student, and might be able to respect to our individual. That seven. Oh, number seven is student code policy. Every student handbook need a student code of conduct will be a simple list of all expectation that the school has for its student. Student is this important to we have a handbook to prepare every lesson every day. That's why the one of example. And number 8 is student discipline. Students need to have less of all the possible consequences if they make a poor choice. This less will also assist you in trying to figure out how to deal with a particular situation. Being fair is very important as you make disciplined decision, but there are many factors that go into the situation, because every student has that one of the qualification that we have individual discipline, because you are not called a good student if you are not following instruction, the campus in our school and our home. And that's the first thing that you will going at school. You must be good discipline. You have a discipline inside our home, and you are going to apply at in your school, in your room, to you have consider a good student. That's one of the example. And number 9 is student search and seizure policy. There's a time when you will have a search a student locker, backpack, etc. And every administrator needs to know proper search and seizure procedure, because an improper or inappropriate search car result in legal action. Yes, and that's important as another school, but Legacy College has no this, but it's on time, but Legacy but other school, they have locker, they have um some back it's good for a student to we have this locker for. And number 10 is the last one, is substitute policy. Substitute policies is, in my opinion, there is no job in education. More doubting that of an substitute teacher, a substitute of often those not know student every will, and student take advantage of them. Every opportunity they get administrator often deal with many issue when substitute are used. And educational policy are rules that are intended to help school teach students efficiently, fairly, and safely as per the regulatory norms. In the board to which institution is affiliated, this term determine how the students are taught, what they are taught, how school manage student and its personnel. And that's one is good for educational policy to apply this and to follow this, because you know it is important to become a professional and to use this. And thank you so much. God bless.